Okay, now for question 20 and the next question from this February-March 2019 paper, question 20 and 21. We've got matrices. We've got to multiply these two matrices together, work out this matrix times that matrix. Now when we multiply two matrices together, okay, we have to make sure that they're compatible. These are compatible, we can see that, but I'll explain to you how they're compatible. You have the first matrix is a 2 by 2 matrix, number of rows times the number of columns, or by the number of columns, not times. And the second one is also a 2 by 2, 2 rows and 2 columns. Okay, so if these two numbers here are identical, box these two, then they're compatible, and the answer will look like what's left over. So 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, now when we multiply two matrices together, we have to make sure that we multiply the rows of the first matrix by the columns of the second matrix. So the rows of the first matrix by the columns of the second matrix. And this is how we go about doing so. Okay, so we multiply row of the first by column of the second. So we take the first entry, which is 2 and 1, so 2 times 1, which is 2, and then we add to it the product of the other two, so it's minus 1 times minus 1, which is 5 plus 5. So 2 plus 5, that's going to be the entry in the top left. We took the top column and the left, the top row and the left column. And the entry in the top right will be the top row times the right column. So you got 2 times 6, which is 12, and plus, and you got minus 1 times 4, which is minus 4. That gives you 12 minus 4. And then on the bottom left column, you use the bottom row and the left column. So you get 4 times 1, which is 4, plus, and you got 3 times minus 5, which is minus 15. Okay, and then finally the entry in the bottom right column is the bottom row and the right column. So 4 times 6, which is 24, plus, and you have, so that's 24 plus 3 times 4, which is 12. Okay, and that will give us an answer. You got 5 plus 2, which is 7, and you have 12 minus 4, which is 8, and you have 4 minus 15, which is negative 11. Okay, and we have 24 plus 12, which is 36. So there's our answer. We should write it in the space: 7, 8, negative 11, and 36. And there we have the answer for question 20 part A. Now 20 part B says find the value of x when the determinant of this matrix is 5. Now the determinant of a matrix is given by the product of the leading diagonal minus the product of the other diagonal. So 3 times x, so like if you have a matrix A, B, C, D, then the determinant of that matrix is A times D minus B times C. Okay, so 3 times x minus, you got negative 7 times negative 1. Okay, that's the determinant of this matrix, and we know that that's equal to 5. So what's unknown is the x here. So you got 3x minus, that's going to be 7, equals 5. So 3x is equal to 5 plus 7, which is 12. So therefore x is equal to 12 over 3, which is 4. Okay, so there's the answer to part B of question 20. Now question 21. Without using a calculator, work out this division of these two fractions. So it's very important that you have to show the examiner that you did not use a calculator. So you have to show your steps really carefully in these type of questions. So the first thing we do when we divide two fractions is change the fractions that are mixed numbers into improper fractions. So 3 and 1/8, well, that's going to be 24 plus 1, which is 25 over 8. Because you have to have 8 going into that number 3 times and 1 left over. So that's going to be 3 times 8 is 24, and you have to add 1 to that. That's 25 over 8 divided by 5 over 12. Okay, now, we know when we divide fractions, we change the division into multiplication and we write down the reciprocal of the fraction after the division sign. Okay, and now what makes life a lot easier, instead of multiplying 25 by 12 and 8 by 5, okay, what we can do is cancel out. Okay, and one of the things that's really important, you don't make the denominators the same when you're multiplying fractions. You do that when you're adding or subtracting. Okay, so don't try and make the denominators the same. You'll complicate everything, make it a lot longer than it should be. When you're multiplying two fractions, you can simply just multiply the numerators together and multiply the denominators together. However, to make life easy for yourself, if you can cancel out things before you multiply, it's better. So anything on the numerator can cancel with anything in the denominator. So for example, 5 goes into 25 exactly 5 times. So that's going to be 5 and 1 here. And 8 and 12 has a common factor of 4. So if I do 8 divided by 4, that gives me 2. If I do 12 divided by 4, that gives me 3. So I'm left with 5 times 3, which is 15. And 2 times 1, which is 2. So I've got 15 over 2. And they say, give your answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. So 15 over 2. 2 goes into 15 7 times, remainder 1. So that's 7.5. And there's the answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. And there we finish this page. And the next page will be in the next video.